Gee, whatever. So yeah. Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babel Z, episode 258. I'm Taking Master, joined by.
RPG Maniac 05.
And Traptical.
So yeah, we got so much been playing. Maybe a question. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. And then slow news week, but PSX stuff and Games Award stuff. Yeah. So who would like to? Oh, I guess we can start with the Destiny, the weekly Destiny.
It continues.
Because there was the expansion this week, so there's that to talk about. Oh, geez. I just got the little circle thingy that's like refreshing, so I'm not sure if my computer just did something. Because I'm trying to open OBS to change the thingy, but whatever. We can keep talking. But
Yeah, we're having some weird difficulties right now, so maybe you're listening to this in the future then. The recorded version.
all right. So yeah, Destiny, Crota's End expansion came out, and it kind of, I think it kind of had the negative effect I was hoping it would not have on me because I kind of I fought tooth and nail, understatement, exclamation marks across the board to get to level flipping 30 with my characters, and then this comes out and it feels like it's completely A, negated, and B, made super easy to get to without having to suffer through the raid RNG. And I was just like, ugh. I felt like
You're
it was all for
welcome.
nothing. Like 2 months of, wait, no, 3 months. It's December. Jeez, it came out in September. Oh my, why? I guess whatever. 3 months of, yeah, that. I'm kind of, I mean, I will stick it out until the Cabal raid, just because I can like get a raid with every faction. But then I think after that, I'm taking a break from the game. Cause
Wow.
yeah, I kind of see where things are headed. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. It's like I can see why I don't play MMOs, because this very much is just, they don't want to say what the game is, but it's totally just an MMO that you don't pay monthly for, and they're updating all the time. So whatever.
See, I'm wondering if that is because you fought tooth and nail. Like, maybe you played too hard. Like, I don't know. Like, RPG, do you think, like, you and I, we're not broken. And
Hey,
we've also
Well,
played a
I'm not
lot
broken either. What are you
less.
talking about?
I was just about to say you and I have played a lot less than he has. I mean, there's been weeks in between my play times at this point, so
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, it's
And
funny. I was
yet,
playing RPG today, and I was like, "Yeah, if you would have went to Zero 3 weeks ago, you could have got the Midas multi tool." And he was like, "I wasn't even playing this 3 weeks ago."
but like we're even though we have played significantly less, we're around the same level. I mean, granted, you also have two other characters who are level 30,
well, I mean, technically
but
my
then
other character could be level 32 if
and
I
yeah,
ever
like, well,
actually
you
played,
have two also, but it's just like, I feel like that has been something that they've done with MMOs where they don't reward the person who has all the time and is just playing lots and lots and lots. They put more and more friction on people who are playing lots and lots and lots to sort of, and I don't really know what the point would be to do that in Destiny, but they do that, or they seem to have done that, and then everyone is sort of, there's like a smoothing of the curve, and everyone is sort of evened out at around the same level, regardless, kind of the amount of time that you've put in to play it.
yeah. Or some people just have better luck than others. That seems to be that just seems to be how it works.
I guess what's like another thing is, like, I didn't want this game to like turn into like the typical MMO of like, oh, the expansion comes out, your old stuff's completely useless, and
Mm,
yep, that's not what happened.
Except
So,
kind it kind of is.
because your old stuff's not completely useless, but it kind of is, but it's
It's
like not.
it's obsolete, not useless. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like there's
that,
all that better stuff now that you could just buy, by the way, so you
yeah,
don't even have to like work towards it. Well, I mean, you still kind of have to work towards because you do the Vanguard marks, but
yeah.
it's like it's you could just buy it now. You don't have to depend on a random drops because like
Yeah,
you know where to get Vanguard marks from. It's not like you have to randomly hope you get marks. So it's like these are all controlled factors that you can just do that and play strikes over and over again, and then just buy stuff and level up. It's like, yay, I'm level whatever now, and I didn't have to go through the raid tons of times and never get anything except Chatterwhite. So, it's like,
See, like
yeah.
for me, I liked playing the raid as much as possible because it was a fun battle, and there are still parts, there are still challenges in there that we haven't been able to do yet. So that's exciting to me. It's like, oh, when are we ever going to be able to legit keep the Templar from teleporting? It's like, that's going to be awesome. And then the flawless raid, that's going to be so cool, and we finally get that one. But yeah, like from my point of view, like the game has gotten way better since it came out. It's smoothed out a lot. Like originally, it seemed like there was sort of only one way to do things. Like, oh, okay, you gotta get up to level 20 by doing all this stuff. Then you have to play all these strikes, and that's how you get all of your materials. And then the raid is the only way you can get up to level 30. Like, so every week you have to play the raid and then open all the chests and just get through it. And then hopefully you get the equipment you need to get to 30. And then finally you have reached the level cap. And then at that point it's kind of like, well, what's there to do? But now it's like, oh, now there's just so many options in the ways that you can get to the highest levels. You can play, you can still do the raids, or you could go and do just strikes all the time and then get Vanguard marks. You could even do patrols if you wanted to, like thousands of patrols, get all the marks that way. Wait, you don't get marks for patrols, do you?
You get
You
rep.
don't. You just get the rep.
But there could be a public event. Whoa! Then you get marks.
You get your commendations that way. And
I was
then
gonna
yeah,
ask
so
about that. Like, what is the commendation? Because I saw that like under one of the
yeah.
equipment thingies. I was like, what is this?
So now it's like every time your rep level goes up, I think you get tokens,
Mhm.
and then you have to use those to trade in for that gear.
Oh,
So that part, like, there's where they've added a bit more friction, I think. Like, before, you could just, if you had the marks, you could buy it. But now it's like, you have to level up your Vanguard rank or your Crucible rank.
If you know what you're doing, it's not that hard. Because I level up my rep at least once a week. So
Wow.
no big deal.
I mean, I guess with the multiple bounty slots now, you could just
Yeah, that's what I do basically. Or the fastest way is to have like full bounties that are 100 rep, and then just don't. You can like do them, but don't turn them in, and then after you get your Nightfall buff, turn them in for like even more bonus, and then that's how you level up faster. And just keep doing that until it resets, and then just don't do any bounties until you have your Nightfall on, and you're good.
And I'm assuming you could do the same thing with the Crucible, since that's how their bounties work.
And with Eris, I'm pretty sure it works with her. I haven't tried it yet though.
That's
Like, that's why I was so angry with the stupid Nightfall this week, because that's one thing that kind of got to me this week. I had my way of doing things, and they threw this curveball of, oh, hey, don't have the expansion? Well, suck it, because you're gonna not be able to do a lot of stuff this week. And even if you do have the expansion, you're gonna have to grind out some stuff before you can get to the stuff you've been used to doing. And I was like, ugh. Bungie. And then I was talking to Tropical when we were doing it. I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, or like how do we get to this next part of the story missions, or like how do I unlock this Nightfall or weekly? And it's like, yet again, Destiny, secrets. How do I do this? I don't know, because the game doesn't effing tell me. Go F yourself. But yeah,
it was weird. Like, at first I was sort of frustrated, but then I realized that, well, it is like 4 a.m, and maybe it's because I just really want to get through it.
Yeah,
and
I was like 6 a.m, dude. I ain't got time for this.
yeah,
I'm
so I was
gonna
like,
sleep. I
maybe
just went to
that's
sleep.
why. Because like, otherwise, if I was playing under normal conditions, would it have been?
I think
okay?
that's what it was, because like the third thing to do after you did, or the fourth thing rather, after the 3 story missions, which are not as long as we were hoping they would be.
Yeah.
There's just normal story missions that are added, and
Some
they
are,
also
like,
don't like they're not like
incredibly short.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. It's like, yeah, like that's another thing. It's like check on the box. Story never gonna get any better. But yeah,
Well, I mean, you haven't checked out the new Grimoire cards. That's why.
shut up, RPG.
So-
I don't want to hear anything else about Grimmer cards like for the rest of the game's lifespan. But
They actually gave me the Grimoire cards when I logged in today, and I was like, "What is this even? What is this stuff even for? I don't have the expansion, so this does nothing for me."
It's to
So-
entice.
but it's like yeah, you had like 3 story missions, and then you had like some bounties from Eris, and then like her third one that she gave you was like go and kill 25 knights and wizards, which sounds like such a fun time at 6 in the morning after I played through all the other stuff, and I was like, dude, whatever, and I just went to sleep and like woke up and did it. But ugh, I was like, yeah, Grindfest 2014, Destiny, the game. Is it fun yet? Not really, but I keep playing. Continues.
Yeah. Are you having fun yet, Tekken? Are you having fun yet?
Somewhere in
that-
there. Somewhere in there.
I did, but I mean, I did. Well, when I was playing with Tropical earlier, I did because he was showing me like some of the stuff they added, and I was like, I like the little mini events that they have, like
Sword.
that and the little parts of Crota, I guess you call them, that
Oh,
are like
yeah, the
randomly
eyes
on there.
and the soul.
Because that was pretty cool. Because like
That
if
was kind
they
of fun.
if they add stuff like that, if I feel like if they would have added stuff like that
Oh, wait,
regularly,
didn't you say you could
yeah.
like accept the bounties and stuff? But can you even
I
do
could.
them?
I don't know because I haven't tried, but
Oh.
it lets me take them, and it's I mean otherwise because usually if you can't do them, they just won't let you.
Yeah,
know,
like the
do with
Warlock one, I can't pick up that bounty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's the other
so
weird
I'm-
thing is like they have class restricted bounties from Eris now, which is weird. Yesterday it was
Yeah.
Titan. Today it's a Warlock.
Yeah, because like I was telling Tropical, though, I was like, yeah, I can do these bounties, but I'm getting rep for what? I can't buy or use any of this stuff, so it's like it's just there just to do it. So I don't know, but yeah, it's like I feel like if they would have added more of like those mini events and stuff throughout, or like every so often, it might have like kept things interesting a bit because it's like I kind of like the sword appearing or like the pieces of Crota being randomly around and stuff like that because it's like you don't outside of when you're like doing patrols and stuff you really aren't doing much other than just running around doing the same thing over and over again so
Yeah.
it's kind of a nice addition I guess.
So yeah, I
but-
think a few years down the line, the game is going to be pretty cool. Unless, like I have the worrying thought when they talked about Destiny 2. It's like,
I know, right?
that seems like a bad idea.
That
I feel
happens, I'm
like
done.
they should just keep adding to this Destiny.
They even
unless
said you could
know,
carry over,
there's-
but I'm like, dude, if that's their mindset, go F themselves,
Yeah.
because no thanks. I started to pay
Like-
$60, and on top of the expansions, I could just keep buying expansions. I don't need to buy $60 of a game every however often.
Yeah,
Is it
Just
exactly.
buying
Does that come
expansions,
with
I'll
that
buy
one?
those.
Especially like if Destiny 2 comes out and it's just sort of bare bones, like when Destiny 1
Oh,
came
Chapter
out. It's
five.
like that would just be.
That'd be the
Yeah.
nail in the coffin.
I
then you'd
would
have
wait
to-
on that one, and just keep going with Destiny 1. But yeah, like Destiny. Everything. Well, so the expansions all feel sort of cheap, maybe, or not cheap, but like cheaply produced. Where there's not really new environments. There's like a few new environments, but a lot of it is just going backwards to the
yeah, that
environment.
was
you've
so
been
weird.
through.
That was
It was
so
like-
weird.
And then like even the new enemies are just sort of slightly altered versions of enemies you've already fought before. Like Omnigul is just a big wizard with a slightly different head model and crazy creepy scream sounds and like a different element shield than the other ones and like is a bullet sponge and just a lot of those things you can just change very easily, and then the model is like, yeah, it's not that different. And then yeah, it's just like lots of different. I guess I'm of two minds. Like on the one hand, it's like yeah, that's smart. This way, it's cheap to produce. You don't have to make people download a lot of new stuff for like new assets and things like that. It's just they're all kind of in there. And then, like, what's the interesting part of new types of enemies? Like, well, new behaviors. I mean, looking different is like, that's cool, but having them behave in a different way is more, I think, exciting gameplay wise. So, fanatics are basically headless goblins. And then when they explode, they leave stuff on the ground. It's like, yeah, see, that's new behavior that you have to work around. It's like, that's pretty cool. Despite the fact that it is just a headless goblin with electricity and green on it.
but it can mark you so you can be negated from existence.
Yeah, like I think a few years down the line, Destiny, those little like mini event things, like those are going to be everywhere. It's just that right now, it just it's hard to say, but yeah, it feels very slow. The trickle out of new content, because like even the things like the loot cave, closing off the loot cave, or originally it was when people shot the loot cave enough, then there was like a horde that would come out and they're like high level and yellow health and they would just destroy everybody. That's sort of like a mini event, but they did that in response to something that community was doing, and then later removing the loot cave entirely. That's kind of a mini event. There's like a negative mini event, and then yeah, so with stuff like that, there's no reason why they couldn't just cover the universe, the galaxy with them.
I think they should also remove the traveling restrictions on new characters, because I refuse to go through that story again. It's just not happening. Or my Titan's just going to be stuck on Earth forever, because I'm not doing it. Just not doing it.
It's just what I think over time it's gonna follow the path of World of Warcraft, sort of, where in the beginning, yes, we who journeyed in at the very beginning, we did a lot of grinding and just like boring stuff, and then over time, a lot of that stuff just got smoothed away and sanded away, and so now you can buy resources. You don't have to farm like those times that we went farming, and you don't have to just keep playing the same strikes and stuff over and over again in order to get XP or whatever it was you were trying to do. And all
It's
these
actually,
things
yeah, it's actually
sanded
interesting.
down.
Thinking about it now, it's like legendary Ingrams. They're like they're like even hard, like they're even more rare because like you don't see them as often. They're actually like legitimately now at the expansion, since like everything that's like legendary now is like even better than they were, because they have higher level. They either have a higher light cap or higher damage if it's a weapon or armor. So it's like actually you want those legendaries again after like having before the expansion. I was like, whatever, I got my gear set. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't need any more legendaries. If I see one, it's like, whatever, we'll see what it is. If it's awesome, I'll keep it. If not, it's getting dismantled. But now it's like I kind of want legendaries again. So that's funny for the first time in however long. But luckily I have like a ton of shards and energies. It's like I'm good on those. So I'm like, and now I'm good on materials. So it's like I just need to level them up now. And like, yeah. And like, and get them, period. Because this week on the Nightfall, I got 8 strange coins. I got a exotic I already had, and then I got a legendary rocket launcher, which is one of my least favorite type of weapons, but whatever. So now it's like, Nightfalls, I can play them again and hope for getting something awesome. As opposed to being like, oh, it's a legendary I already have, or oh, it's legendary I don't want, and being disappointed.
But yeah, basically that's it. Like in a few years, it's gonna be really awesome. And we'll be able to look back and be like, back in my day, you had to like, get around,
and then
pick up a relic iron. Yeah.
And then like I'm gonna refine my inventory that I'm carrying on my character, because I'm like, well, all my weapons do less max damage than the new legendaries, so I'm basically just gonna like dismantle all but one, and then have the rule of 2, where basically you have an exotic, and then you have a legendary of each type of weapon, and then until I get like the new legendaries, I can like keep my old legendaries until I dismantle them to like keep the more awesome one with better attack. But I guess unless you play PvP, I don't know if it's, or I guess during Iron Banner anyway, you're not really going to see a benefit from more damage, but because all the stuff is like level capped at 30 now, but RPG I do more damage. It's like more damage is more damage. It doesn't matter. So it's like even if it is only 31 more damage, I don't care. It's like
more damage is good
micromanagement.
out. Yeah, more damage is good out in the field when you're just fighting Vex and all those guys.
My min-max part of my brain can't let it go. I just gotta do it. I just gotta do it. It's just,
Oh my
it's just so
gosh.
sad. I have to like set fire to my house and watch it burn of like the last 3 months of everything I've done, and just dismantle everything in this week's video. I'm gonna make. It's gonna be sad.
That's gonna be fun.
It's like even my exotics. Well, except the mythic class. Because you can't. I don't think there's not gonna be selling that anytime soon. So.
watch like this week, so the myth class is on sale.
That would not be funny, RPG.
Well, I mean,
I would
think
Well,
not
about
be
it.
amused.
They've already it's already gotten to the point where they're selling armor that's already higher than the stuff you get in the raid anyway. So it wouldn't be surprising if they start selling exotic weapons
And
that
that's
are
also
more
something I'm
powerful
gonna
than
do.
the
Is
raid
like, you know
stuff.
what?
So
You know what, raid. Since you have to be like, like you wanna have enemies that are 2 level higher than the cap that I already hit, and like just beat me up that way. I'm gonna do what I did last time, and not even try it the first time, and like be super underleveled and like barely scratch and claw through to like a part we can't even get past. Thanks, Crota. Thanks for all those burns to my face from your sword. Thanks.
well, I mean, all things considered, getting to the final boss, despite being technically underleveled, it's still
Well, it's kind of like adding insult to injury though if you don't get any drops though, because all me and Gamer got were like the mystical shards that we don't know what they do yet. So it's like ooh, but then you need radio for them, which we don't know. So it's like yep, here we go again. Yep, on this train, 10 years. Oh, but now I'm like, dude, I'm just like F raise until I'm like super overloaded because that's easy mode all the way in this game. I'm tired of the abuse, Bungie. Okay. Stockholm syndrome. I mean, my room in that place where you keep me with those chains and whips and other objects I will not mention might be nice and fancy and comfortable, but the things you do to me in there, I'm not gonna say. But I might keep coming back, whatever. But I don't deserve that. I deserve better.
It sounds a lot worse when you say it like that, because it really doesn't sound like you in a video game company in that context. So you should be careful with your analogies and or metaphors or whatever is going on there. So, yeah.
Okay, RPG. Well, to have another analogy, just imagine it, and then because we're in the theater of the mind, anything can be possible. And like yeah, mentally, I'm so effed up by them because they're just like in my brain. I can't think about stuff now and be happy. It's like, oh, the raid. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, I need this gear. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, it's like all mental. It's all mental. Like yeah. Ah.
It is all mental.
I'm sure I'm sure I
like-
cry out in my sleep at night. Oh, I can't level up. Oh, I don't know the gear. Oh, I'm probably like crying out in my sleep. Like I don't know because I'm asleep. But like mentally those scars are so deep. I can only cry out in my sleep.
Wow, that is wow, is what that is.
This game, it almost broke me, but it didn't. But it did not leave no consequences. I'm like forever scarred from this mentally. People use the word loot around me. I'm like, huh, what? Huh? Loot where? Huh? Looking around, hoping it's purple. It's not purple. Whatever.
Man, I think it's different for you because you refuse to play PvP. I guess it's better for you then because before you basically only had one option, and that was at the mercy of the raid, essentially. Whereas now I don't know if you can get to 32 with the other stuff, but you do sort of have other options for progression. You can go and, use your Vanguard marks and things like that. Whereas with my playing, I had essentially given up on getting to level 30 with the raid. I was like, oh, I don't really care. I just like playing the raid. And then when the Iron Banner showed up, it's like, oh, cool. So now I can just get to 30, and then I'll be able to play the hard raid with everyone. So that's why I was like, oh yeah, I get rank 5, and I got rank 5 in the Iron Banner. And so for me, like even before the DLC came out, I had other options. There was just Destiny for me. There's so much stuff that you can do, and now it's like yeah, so much of those things that you can do lead to higher levels, which is I guess the goal.
Yeah, that's no longer my goal tropical. I was like, dude, I'm not chasing the level cap anymore. I'm done. That almost got to me last time. It almost broke me. Never happening again. Take my time. Slowly but surely, I will become a turtle that the tortoise that is wise that defeats the super arrogant, super fast hare. That's all like, oh, hey, take it. Hey, we got this game. Level cap. You want to chase it? And then just runs off. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'll get there eventually. And then sneak up on you in your sleep and stab. Yeah, enjoy that. I'll cross the finish line. You'd be like, yeah. Anybody see that hair? That's right, you didn't, because I murdered him. Ha! And then, yeah.
That's how that story went at all. Like,
Well, that's cool. I think that yeah, you should see how that goes. Not the murder part, just
yeah,
playing
that's just not-
playing to make you happy. Because that's what I do. Like that. The other thing about what happened, Oh, it was during the week of the Iron Banner that I finally got the drop from the raid that I needed to get to 30, and I still went and did Iron Banner because I was just like, I want gear that looks different than what everyone else has, and I don't think anyone else I know is playing Iron Banner, so I will definitely have something that's totally unique, and so that's why I did that. It's just like nobody else cares. It's like, yeah, it's just for me. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say except for I got to 30 without the raid. And I'll get to whatever I need to get there to be able to do the new raid without having to rely on the raid because that seems like it's going to be the same thing. Because why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it?
Is it buggy? Did you guys run into anything?
No. There was no,
Okay,
not that I know of.
that's cool.
It was fun though. It was fun to finally have a new raid.
Yeah, I thought
But I still disagree with you, Tropical. Well, I guess it's a personal opinion thing, but like I don't want to go into a raid like not knowing what to do because it's like we got to like two parts where it's like, dude, how do we get through this? And then
Oh, really?
it was
You
like
didn't like
people
the...
doing stuff to like figure stuff, and I was like, dude, I'm just gonna come back when we have strategies for this crap. I don't. It's like I ain't down with this. I ain't down with this.
Man, yeah, like
It's still fun if you know what you're doing. It's just whatever. Not as no thanks.
Because that's the
I
only
think-
reason why I was like excited about the new raid until I found out it was expansion exclusive, and I was like, oh, well, there goes that. Because it's like I didn't get a chance to go into the raid the first time with you guys because I had a late start, so everybody was already leveled before I got there. So it's just like and I missed on this one too. So it's like I can never be in the scouting parties for these, and it's like that's half the fun. So
I know, like the scouting party, that is where it's at. Like that first time, that was the most exciting one, and then after that, it was just like, well, somehow we're just super good at this now. It is not even a thing. Like
It's
even
funny that you said Tropical because like after we just got destroyed in Curtis Inn, we did Vada Glass and normal with 4 people with like super fast, and it was like, yeah, this is so below us right now, but
yeah.
we'll keep coming back to it. Just like if we ever want to take our aggression out, or we need a whipping boy for whatever happened to us that week.
nice ego boost.
Atheon, we got your number every time.
Oh man, that time we were so close to not dying.
And I even got like a rocket launcher I didn't have yet, and I was like, yay, Husband Vengeance, yes. And it's funny because I heard anything, and it's like, haha, Zaphyr's cursed in the raid, or the first raid anyway. It's just so funny. It's like he still only gets charged energy. It's like, oh, poor
Yeah.
Zephyr.
That's crazy. Well, yeah. Other than that, the more I think about the story in the DLC, I think it is better than the main game. Just the way that it's sort of integrated into what you're doing. And like the strikes in the main game were sort of just random. It's like, oh, we did this other story thing, and then this is like a side chapter. And it's not even connected to the main story, except that it's still you. So if this is the story of you as a guardian, then okay, this is part of your story. But other than that, it's like the strikes were just there. Whereas the strike in the DLC is connected to an enemy character that you see several times while you're playing through the story missions. And then even like the bounties that you get are connected to that story. I was like, oh, that's a little bit more cohesive. Okay, that's not bad.
So outside of the weekly, uh, things to do, is there anything that people that don't have the expansion that are locked out of? And then you
Just
Mhm.
just the weekly
new
stuff.
strikes.
Yeah, right now it's just the weeklies because it's the new strike. And then I think like the new exotics are only DLC purchasers. But other than that, like yeah, RPG was able to buy and equip the new gear.
Yeah, because at first I thought they'd be super screwed when Iron Banner came around when you had the expansion
Yeah.
people and the non-expansion people, but RPG was able to get some, so not so much.
Yeah, like it said, like level 32 will be people will still be able to reach the level cap.
You just won't be able to do much except beat the first raid on hard or whatever.
So maybe they'll just be like different.
I still think it's kind of lame that they're not going to give any more free raids.
I know. Like, really? So Destiny has one raid? That's wow. Never heard of that in an MMO. Very sad.
Alrighty. Does anybody have anything to add on Destiny?
I can't wait for Iron Banner next week. Oh, and I haven't seen the new raid yet, so that'll be fun too.
I probably won't be playing anymore, so I mean, I think I'm good. I saw what I needed to see, so I'm fine. I'll just play vicariously through you guys or something. So
Alrighty. See, I'm trying to think if I like want to balance it by like only playing it every Tuesday and Wednesday and then just like playing other stuff. But now I finished Shadow Mordor, so it's like, well, so much for that. Well, I guess I'll just keep. I guess this will be my game to like motivate me to play through my backlog as I until next year. But oh, geez, it's almost next year anyway. Crap. Because next year it's like all the rules are. Oh, I'm gonna like change all the rules, and it's like, dude, I can't do the one game a month. And there's so many games. And like now, like I did like 2 games in like such a short span of time. Shadow Mordor and Far Cry. I was like, dude, I did it. I played through 2 while I was playing Destiny. It's like it can be done. So next year it's crazy for me because I have like the gloves are coming off. But
Aimless Podcast is going to be really good. Aimless Battle Z is going to be really good next year.